Boom, boom, boom. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Jesus Christ. That Wonder Woman trailer, I've had Blue Monday, that version of Blue Monday in my head ever since the fucking thing debuted. What's happening, guys? Are we out there? If you guys saw my Twitter today, I actually posted an image. I was at the mall doing a little bit of Christmas shopping because I had the day off today. And I found an action figure of Mr. Miyagi that came with chopsticks. It was pretty crazy. And it just so happened that I was wearing my Karate Kid shirt today. What's happening, guys? What's going on? All right. I just want to say this first off. Start off the show. I'm going to do a little screen share right here. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. So I'm going to show you this right here. You guys are awesome. Look at that. Look at what you guys donated. You guys donated $103.79. And I'm not sure what super stickers mean, but yes. Last week with the donation video, we raised, so far we've raised $105.24. So that's some awesome shit right there. Good job. Good job. And like I said, I'm going to wait a month until the revenue generates whatever that is. And then donate that and add some to it. So it's good stuff. What the hell is this thing doing? Oh, don't do that. Okay, there we go. So cheers, guys. Cheers to that. What's up, Jose? What's up, Stallone fan? Men in tights. Yeah, I mean, you guys came through, man. That was way more than the other time. That was way more than the other time I did a donation. The other time, I think we raised like a little over $60. This time we raised over $100. So not bad. Not bad. Yes, Eric. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, maybe I'll get you on tonight. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Got other people coming on. Maybe I'll fit you in there. I got your message. I didn't respond. Sorry, buddy. Oh yeah, she's your wife, John Hoskins. Yeah, she's pretty sexy. She's pretty sexy, and that last little trailer we got for Birds of Prey made her sexier. That's for damn sure. Yes, I'm going to see 1917. Looks really good, and it's getting already nominations, and it's not even out yet. So that should kind of show you something right there. Yeah, good job, people. Hey, at work, I work at Untitled DC film. Not anymore. Not anymore. That was supposed to be Cyborg. When they set the dates, that was supposed to be Cyborg's date. And I think like they recently removed it from the slate after they announced the Flash movie in Matrix 4 in Mortal Kombat. They removed that date. So yeah, don't think it's happening. Sorry. I'm gonna call Dave conservative Dave from now on. Why? I'm not conservative. I'm just Dave. Don't put any titles on me or labels on me. You see that Iger is planning a meeting with Scorsese? Yeah, no, that's gonna be interesting. What's gonna be with that? He's gonna be like, stop it. Stop saying our movies aren't cinematic. Fuck. Damn it. Hey, what's up from India? I actually have a few. I mean, I get messages from India all the time. It's amazing. I mean, even when it comes to like the Snyder Cut stuff, it trends in India quicker than any other country. That's for damn sure. Any other region. India is like, and cheers, man. Cheers all the way from India. Yeah. I have a lot of fans from India. I get messages all the time. It's pretty cool. It's crazy. It's surreal to think about that. To just really think about that when somebody reaches out, or you say this message right here. I don't want to mess up your name. I'm really bad at reading names. But I always appreciate it. And it's just crazy. Hey, we got a donation. Hey, Angel and Edgy. Hey, thanks, guys. Cheers to that. Appreciate it. But yeah, it's always very surreal when I get messages from all around the world. Even, I mean, I get them. I've gotten fans from Australia and Europe and, just various places, down south, South America. It's pretty crazy. It's very surreal when you really think about it. It's like, wow, really? Really? you're terrible. Are you excited for the new Star Wars? Yes. I got to start prepping. I got to start watching. Might start watching tonight. I don't know. But yeah, I got my tickets. Got my tickets for and thank you, Angel Cortez. It can't be stopped. It's now mainstream. It's now mainstream, guys. It's definitely now mainstream. But yes, I'm excited for the new Star Wars, and I have my tickets already for Thursday, so expect my first reaction, and that's cool. You message me, cool. That's fine. I don't always get to my DMs, and I apologize if you send me a DM and I don't get to it. But sometimes there's a lot of DMs that get thrown in there. But yes, I'm very excited for the Star Wars movie. Crazy. Well, at least 3 in Italy. See, it's crazy to think about. It's really crazy. Yeah, I hear Bill Burr finally makes his way into The Mandalorian. I'm going to watch it tomorrow morning. Can't wait. I mean, I'm loving the series. The series is great. It doesn't matter if the black suit was photoshopped or not. The point is that Snyder was going to make it. Yes. Okay. This is what I really wanted to talk about tonight, guys. Okay. And before I start bringing on guests and everything, we'll talk about it more. Yes. I mean, anybody who has like an eye for detail knows that image of Cavill in the black and silver suit it's not photoshopped. It's like the color has just been desaturated, color corrected to make it the black and silver. Okay. Now the biggest thing is why is that the case? Why don't they have an actual black and silver suit? Now, I mean, maybe there was one that was made up. I don't know. I don't know those details. We know for a fact that Wilkinson had the black and silver suit concept art up on the wall somewhere. We've seen that. And that's because, yes, Snyder wanted the black and silver suit. Now, whether or not solar suit, not sure it's going to be actually representing the solar suit. I think it's a symbolic suit, to be honest. Some kind of, I don't know. It's going to be some like symbolism because we all know that Snyder is very good at doing those little things, okay? And from what I gathered, and I've even mentioned this before in podcasts and possibly other streams, is that Warner Brothers and a certain guy with a ball cap did not want the black and silver suit. Did not want the black and silver suit. So they pushed back on it, and this is how crafty Snyder is. And I keep on saying how crafty this guy is, how brilliant he can be, and then all of a sudden I get shit for it because, when I say like, hey, he knows how to tweak photos to make them look really good, especially if, say, you have a shot of unfinished VFX. Hey, you make it black and white and you make it like how he does it, it looks sharp. Hide those imperfections. When I had my podcast with Chris Dawson and we talked about why do Snyder's visual effects pop? Why do they look better than, say, shit in the MCU? It's all about the lighting. When you're shooting something in broad daylight, those visual effects, they can look pretty shitty. Snyder, he likes to shoot stuff or he likes to have stuff happen at dusk or at night. And it's always beautiful. It's always absolutely beautiful. So things pop. So the way that he filmed Superman, because obviously in the behind the scenes images, you see Cavill in the blue suit. You don't see any black and silver suit. So they shot it in such a way where in post, they could easily color correct it to make it look black and silver. So Snyder planned on doing that. That's how crafty. He did a workaround because those motherfuckers, the studio heads in the game with the ball cap, didn't want the fucking black and silver suit. They didn't want it. So he did a workaround in hopes that maybe they could change their minds. And now that things are happening, we're going to see that black and silver suit. That is the whole point right there. That is the point of the whole thing. Who cares? Who cares whether it's photoshopped or not, or you believe it's photoshopped or not, but it's not photoshopped. It's color corrected. That's the whole point, is the fact that he got pushed back by the heads of all that shit. Sorry, I had to go off on that little rant there. Take a breath, Dave. And cheers to whoever donated while I was doing that. Because that's the whole point about pointing all that out, is the fact that that's how smart Snyder is. That's how fucking smart Snyder is. No. Hey, I get it, Dave. Before you should. No. I get it. Okay, you guys got to realize, I respect Jeff Johns for what he's done with DC Comics. Okay, I love the books that he's put out there. He's a good comic book writer. Okay, but I've also heard things about how he treated Snyder and how he's treated others when it came to the movie business. There you go. That's all. Thank you, Jose. That's what I needed. Like I said, it's just, that's the point that we got to look at. It's not so much that we know that the suit that in that image has been, color corrected. That's not the point. The point is why the fact that it had to be color corrected, and the fact that Snyder's saying, like, yes, this is the suit that you'll see, fan-fucking-tastic. It's going to pop, especially with the silver, the chrome padding that's underneath. It's going to look good with the black and silver. Do I have rage issues? I do that face that she makes, that Black Canary makes. Comics and movies are completely different things. Yeah, exactly. And Johns just has not had the luck with it when it comes to that. He just doesn't. Thank you. No problem. Oh, yeah. Whatever. If we have somebody that's bad-mouthing, whatever. It's no big deal. No big deal. Let him do that. Boom, 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 boom. But, I just wanted to say that's the main motivation with when it comes to this whole fucking thing, is the fact that why did he have to do that? Why did he have to do that? And there is a reason why he decided to do that. So, I don't know. That doesn't take away. And then, another thing too, guys, when it comes to the Snyder Cut, I mean, I know a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of people with like screen names, usernames that have the 214 in it. And I know we love seeing that, the 214 runtime. If Snyder gets everything that he wants, thank you. If Snyder gets everything that he wants, guess what, guys? Don't dwell on that fucking 214 runtime, okay? That number is going to change. That number's going to change. And I don't mean by, it's going to be 170. No, I mean it's going to be like, it's going to increase. It's going to increase. Dave, can you debunk the old leaked scene description of Joker and Harley in Arkham in the Snyder Cut? Yeah. As far as I know, there's no Joker and Harley in the Snyder Cut. Just saying. So, din. Yeah, man, Aaron Levine. I swear, this guy, he just shows up everywhere, doesn't he? Don't you think Ray is a Mary Sue? Let me see the end of her story here, and then we'll figure that out. But guess what, guys? I got my first guest here. There he is.
Oh, hey. How you doing?
Hey, cheers.
Aloha Friday. Sam Adams. Yeah.
Nice. Good beer.
Leftovers from Thanksgiving I have to drink before my trip.
Oh, yeah? Where are you going?
Japan. Next week, Tuesday. So,
how far is Japan from Hawaii? Not that
9 hours from here.
Not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad. But I got a 3-year-old, so that's pretty bad.
Never mind. Yeah.
It's going to feel like 24 hours.
Probably even longer than that. Is he pretty...
Oh, man.
Have you been on a plane before?
He's been on like a half-an-hour flight
to
Maui, but that was about it. The other two, they're fine. 9 and 7, they got iPads. And that usually they just leave us alone. But the other one, I don't know. Everybody keeps saying, just let him run down. They can't get off the plane. Yeah.
No, you can't do that.
Like, really?
Yeah. People actually told you to do that?
Yeah.
Wow. No. Don't do that. I mean,
that or Diamond Tap.
Okay. Oh, man. I remember Diamond Tap. Grape flavored.
Yeah.
Anytime that I was sick, I was always looking forward to that Dimetapp because
Really?
Robitussin was fucking disgusting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but Dimetapp was actually delicious. I remember that. It was
Hey,
like,
right. Like grape is probably better than cherry in
yes,
terms of medicine. I
yeah,
don't know.
and it's always weird
Yeah.
too. Like they always, anytime when it comes to medicine, they'll release the medicine and then they'll have, oh, here's a cherry flavor. It's always cherry first. But I think
Yeah.
when it came to Dimetapp, it was always like, hey, we got grape. And I just remember it being delicious. There was, you didn't get that bite. I remember just wanting to drink Dimetapp.
Right. Give me some more.
Yeah,
Hit me up, mom.
yeah. Can I get a straw on this thing? Jeez, man, this is better than having a high C or a free sun, man. So what's going on, man? How's your week been?
It's been a good, just catching up and telling everybody I'm leaving for 3 weeks and
Man,
packing and getting all the. It's cold up there. It's like 40 fucking degrees.
Jeez. No,
Yeah.
everybody loves it when you drop F-bombs, by the way. I don't know why.
I'm just like, I'm done.
Yeah. I felt right when you came in, they're like, can we get R-rated Chris Wong? I'm like, well, we'll see. Well, we got it. No, not quite. You have to have two F-bombs to have an R-rated. So we'll see if we get another. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
R-rated. We got it, guys. We got it. So you're going to be there for 3 weeks.
Yeah. I can't wait. I've always wanted to go to Japan. Like
so
that's like the one, never been.
Wow.
That's like the one place I've always wanted to go before, I keel over. But
bucket list.
But yeah, so we had an opportunity, and her wife's sister lives up there.
Nice.
Because her husband's in the DoD. So I thought, hey, let's do it. YOLO this year. Let's do it. Get up there.
So you're gonna go at the beginning of the year?
Actually, I leave next week Tuesday, so we're gonna spend Christmas there, and we won't come back until like after January, January 7th. So we'll be kind of.
That's quite a trip, man.
I am
awesome.
Freaking excited. I can't wait. Just go. But I don't know.
So when it comes to videos, are you just gonna say you're gonna take a break, or are you gonna try to do some kind of videos while you're there?
I'm bringing my laptop, so I won't have this.
Of course.
Whatever.
Yeah. You don't need it.
Yeah.
Look at the videos I put out sometimes. It's just
Yeah.
No, I mean, like when it comes to like when there's been times where I've like taken a trip. I think the last time I took an extended trip was I went to Portland. I think it was last year for the solar eclipse because I have a friend who lives up there, and I mean when something went down, I like, okay, I'm just going to walk outside and just hold my camera up and talk about something because obviously something drops and I get a bunch of mentions like, hey, did you hear about this? Hear about this? Because shit's going to probably end up happening and they're going to want to get your opinion because want that ping pong flicks, opinion, man. So there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with just doing just a quick thing. I mean, you're on vacation, take a little break. Do that. I mean, it's quick. Upload it real quick. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you basically got like with this, you have, and then of course, like you said, you have your laptop.
Right.
So you can even put like a thumbnail or do whatever the kind of fancy stuff you want to do.
Right. No, my sister-in-law is so cool. She actually said that, hey, when you come up and you want to do your videos, we have a great high-speed internet and stuff like that. I was like, oh wow.
See, there you go.
That's awesome. Yeah.
You're hooked up, man. Nothing wrong with that.
Someone just said, just make videos on the toilet and upload them.
You perverts! How dare you? Hey, man. Okay. All right, Aaron Levine. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and just get you out of there. He's making too much noise in the. You know who I'm talking about, right? He's been in your
It's weird. His Vero account. He's like he goes under Snyder and says, I love you, Zack Snyder. And everything was like, there's a different era.
Yeah. Well,
symbol.
He's not the only one that does that. Let's face facts. Some people are angels when it comes to Vero. But so when it comes to last weekend, what did you think about the Wonder Woman 84 trailer?
I enjoyed it.
Yes.
I liked it. Man, I have like the whole week I've been humming that beat
dude.
And I've
That's
been
how I started. That's how I
I
started the
just
stream. I was like, bum, 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 bum,
yeah, I was like, oh
bum,
man, this
bum.
is sweet.
I mean, I tell you what. I mean, I went down the whole trailer reaction hole because I like
Yeah.
watching people's reactions to trailers. You know, I don't like just watching mine. So you know,
Something wrong with that?
yeah, no, exactly. You know, sometimes you just you have to. Oh no, but like, what I notice is just when that thing's going, like when that music kicks in, everybody's just doing this. You know, everybody like I probably like 97% of the reactions, they're just bobbing their head as that beat's kicking in, and I just thought, wow, how brilliant! First off, I mean,
Yeah.
the trailer just kicks. I mean, it hits all the right beats. It
Mhm.
shows like, okay, we're in 1984.
Mhm.
There's Barbara. Here's sexy Diana. And
Yeah.
then it's just like, oh, Steve Trevor's back, and now here's a bunch of Wonder Woman cool stuff. With
Right.
I mean, I don't even know if like did Hans Zimmer help with that song or
With
was
the
that,
beat, that'd be
yeah,
pretty. I mean, it
it
sounds
seemed
like
like it.
because
Sounds like an
I've
orchestra.
listened to the actual song. You know, I went back to the Blue Monday song, and then I even listened to like an epic version of it, and it's
Yeah.
not even close to the trailer.
Okay.
So I'm
Okay.
thinking he probably
Yeah, because when I got my copyright thing, because obviously it was for the Blue Monday the song, and they said like, oh, it's because you have this done back in 2015 or something like that, a Blue Monday. And I
oh
was like, did they redo it? I meant to look it up, but if you say it didn't, it's got to be Hans Zimmer, and
yeah,
that's
it
how brilliant that
sounds
guy is.
right.
Yeah, I mean, that's how brilliant that guy is. It's like, okay, let's take an '80s song,
Hmm.
an '80s song that everybody knows and everybody loves, and let's
Hmm.
add some orchestra to it and add that flavor, and it just fucking pops, man.
Nailed it, man. Like
Yeah,
I was like, it's I've watched it a lot of times.
yes,
And I just when that part comes up with the 1984,
yes,
you're just like bopping
yeah,
already. You're
yeah,
just like fucking bopping. And then when what the hell is this guy? Maxwell Lord
yeah,
Pedro Pascal when he does this and you want it and his head's
yeah,
doing like that. He's like bopping to the music. And I'm like, I'm
yes.
doing the same thing.
It was just,
So
I mean,
I yeah.
I was so impressed by that trailer. Like, I mean, I've had like when I heard certain details, I was like, okay, is this gonna work? I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm still looking forward to it because I like the first Wonder Woman movie. I want to see it go somewhere, but I
Yeah.
had my reservations about it, and I'm
Right.
like, is the '84 stuff gonna work? Is everything gonna work? And that trailer just totally just wiped out all my doubts because
Mhm.
just the way that they showed the '80s and the way that it just popped, like I said, you know.
Yeah.
All the
Yeah.
doubts went out of my head. And then, of
Yeah.
course, we had the next day, we had the Ghostbusters trailer, which totally,
Oh,
what did you think
yeah.
of that one?
I like that one. I
Yeah,
think it's well, of course it's better than the last Ghostbusters movie, but
that's not that.
but I like how it was not necessarily creepy, but suspenseful.
Yes.
And it's like almost taking it to like that mythological part, like there was a legend back in the day, but
Yes.
without being too campy and comedic. I was actually surprised Paul Rudd they didn't have
Didn't
like
really say anything
scenes of
about it.
Paul Rudd doing goofy things.
Yes.
And it was like, oh, they're really serious. They're taking this seriously, and I like that. I think
Yeah. And
that
the
part.
bad part is like I saw people, God, man, this is what frustrates me sometimes about people. Well, on my timeline, I've seen people like, everybody just compares it to Stranger Things, Stranger Things, Stranger Things. And I'm like,
Oh, really?
the only reason why you're doing that is because
Well,
Finn
that
Whitford,
yeah,
or whatever the hell his name is,
I don't know
you're
his name.
totally because he's in there. If he
Yeah,
wasn't in there, you would not think Stranger Things. And
right.
like, get just don't pretend like he wasn't in Stranger Things, and you won't
Hmm.
think that because I
Hmm.
didn't get Stranger Things vibes really at all.
I
Uh,
didn't either. I just noticed that, like, even my wife's like, "Hey, that's the dude from Stranger Things," but it's not
yeah,
like,
well, he's older,
yeah, right.
so like, yeah, so like
The
that.
one I hear the one where they're comparing even the Wonder Woman 84, they're like, that's the mall from Stranger Things, but apparently it's not.
I know
But
exactly.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's just like we have this. Yeah, we have to compare everything to Stranger Things. But that was like my biggest gripe when I saw people saying like, "Oh yeah, it kind of reminds me of Stranger Things," and I'm like, "How did that remind you of Stranger Things?" Stranger Things was about a whole other world and creatures. Yeah,
Mm,
and I'm like going, but Ghostbusters came out in 1984. Sorry, I'm just saying that came out way before Stranger Things, just because the
hmm.
same actors in there. It's got to be the same thing. But we got another guy.
Hey, Steven.
Did you leave me sitting backstage for
Friday.
I know
20
you were
minutes
waiting.
on purpose?
He was waiting. He was literally waiting in like the backstage area.
When you bring me out, can you call me Joker?
I know, right? I know. I saw him there, but I was like, I was trying to get Chris's opinion on the trailers that we saw recently.
That's fine.
Yeah,
you guys do your thing.
And I like him better. He's less hairy, So.
Yeah.
Just kidding. What's up, Steven? Yeah, we were talking about the Wonder Woman 84 trailer and the Ghostbusters trailer. What are your thoughts about those trailers?
I only saw the Ghostbusters one once, and I thought it was cool. I'm not like a huge Ghostbusters dude. I've seen. I don't think I've ever seen 2.
Wow.
I've seen Ghostbusters 1. I've seen it like chunks of it a million times, like
you're never into it
on TV, and I've sat through I sat down and watched it all the way once. I don't have anything against it. It just wasn't part of my catalog growing up.
Man, it was my childhood. I don't know how many pictures of me during Halloween I dressed up as a Ghostbuster.
So like the new trailer looks great, but like it doesn't like hit my like nostalgia buttons. But I can see how it would for some people.
I think it hit the right beats because it wasn't like in your face, a lot of people were saying like, oh, this is like the Ghostbusters Force Awakens. I'm like, well, I remember the Force Awakens trailer was like, hey, here's Han and Chewie right here.
Yeah.
I'm like, they didn't do that. They didn't do that here. I figured the next trailer we're probably going to see some of the old cast, but
oh yeah, I'm sure. Well, and we wrote an article where we and people, because I moderate like all of our Facebook comments and stuff, I see all the crazy stuff. But we wrote an article that was like, that was Ghostbusters following the Force Awakens formula or something like that. Yeah. But what we meant by it was like their approach to like, what does it mean to reboot something?
Oh yeah.
And so it's kind of like the next generation passing the torch, focus on the younger ones, like all that.
And I get that too, because when I watched that first Force Awakens trailer, I mean, I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and I still love even a Force Awakens. Because it very much does do a good job of, hey, here's some nostalgia, but we're passing the torch to these, younger people. So
yeah.
So, but what did you think of the Wonder Woman 84 trailer, Steven?
I thought that I was not hyped for Wonder Woman 84. I was like defending it against people that were like, just kind of hating on it nonstop because I hadn't seen anything. I knew people that had been on the set visit, and I hadn't heard anything that like blew me away, and I don't know, I just wasn't really feeling it. And just with all the sort of stuff going on with DC, there's a big question mark there about like that's the first movie that like went into production like after Justice League.
Yeah,
is that right? Is that the first one that went? Yeah. Well, I guess Birds of Prey was in there somewhere.
Probably.
But like I mean, it's the one that like Aquaman was already in the works.
Yeah.
And so this is going to be the first like post Justice League like continuation for one of those characters, where it entered production after Justice League. Because Aquaman had the remnants. But man, it got me like right on the hype train right away though.
That's what we were talking about. I mean, I had my reservations about it too, and I was like, that trailer just hit all the right beats.
Right. Well, and I've gotten like Twitter fights over this, over the but
the security camera.
No. Yeah, I found that fascinating on a number of levels.
Right.
One, they show it like the fact that it's there at all indicates that like they're conscious about kind of being cautious about the maintaining some sense of continuity.
Yeah.
But then the fact that they stick it in the trailer on top of that, I thought was really interesting, especially because like they didn't include it at Comic-Con and people were like ready to hate that scene. People were like gearing up to how could she be at the mall? And then in the trailer they're like, by the way, she knocks out the cameras. And so it's like almost it's one of those things where you can kind of see why, not just that like in universe what the impact is, but you can kind of sense that like I think they put it there to try to appease people that were concerned about BVS continuity, which says even more about like, they're ignoring all of the Snyder stuff or the previous continuity stuff, yet they throw that in the trailer. Like they know they're pulling a Disney, Disney's now tiptoeing around The Last Jedi. Like, well, I guess maybe we don't want to make those people mad. And I feel like Warner Brothers is starting to do that with the Snyder fans, where they're like, maybe we shouldn't do like a hard pivot away from that, and we should sort of reconsider that. So I thought that was interesting. I mean, outside of that, it was just great to see a movie where like it was well shot, the colors really popped, not in like the 80s movies have this like, oh, it's 80s, it's neon, it's bright. And like even the rendition of Blue Monday they did, it was very like anti 2019 80s movies. In that way. Like you have like Thor Ragnarok with the immigrant song and just like the neon and all that. And
they could easily copped out and just had,
especially when people are comparing it to that movie. They're like, oh, it's DC's Thor Ragnarok. I'm like, this is nothing like Thor Ragnarok.
That's not Thor Ragnarok. It's kind of weird.
My God, there's
weird.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
There's color. No.
Yeah. Oh my God, there's color and there's lightning part of it. Oh my God, that's exactly the same. No, it's not. I mean,
and there's dark lighting. Like it's a very shadowy movie. Lots of dark lighting in it. Like it's not all just like blown out, overexposed. Very moody, I guess is the word I was looking for.
Like I said, when it comes to the song, they could have just easily used the actual song.
Right.
Trailer, but they did like this whole different spectacle with it.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that was some Hans Zimmer. It had to be, right?
Well, there's even a few things in that, like the speed ramping on its own is like, you gonna put speed ramping in a DCU movie and tell me that like Zack Snyder's influence is gone. And then on top of that, that specific shot where she pops the bullet up out of the chamber and he goes to hit it with her gauntlet and then it cuts out. And like that better result in something that makes Twitter fight. Like what is she? Like she's gonna. What is she? That bullet's gonna shoot something. I mean, she's gonna hit that bullet. It's gonna fire. And I don't know, maybe it's going to shoot something in the wall. I think she's going to shoot somebody with that bullet. Now, maybe it'll shoot him in the shoulder or, whatever. But, like...
It's going to hit his gun and explodes.
Or it could be something like that,
And it's not accidental. Like, she ejected that intentionally. So
yeah, exactly. It's going to be interesting to see that.
Yeah.
But, okay, well, what are your thoughts on the black suit, Mr. Steven? God damn, did he have to do that so late at night?
I was literally on my way to bed. It's 2 hours later here.
It was like 10:45 or something like that.
I almost just went to bed, but I knew that if I didn't write it up, then we were gonna.
We got a comic movie marks guy.
Hey. Well,
what's been Scorsese shirt. I love it in the shape of the Marvel.
Martin Scorsese shirt.
I love that.
Hey,
was it in orange? I thought it was in
Bob
red.
Iger is going to have a stern talk with him.
The most painless talk of all time.
Those headlines are so like ominous. Bob Iger is
going to have a talk. What's he going to do?
Martin Scorsese. Like, I hope that they sit down and he gets like all stern with him, and Martin just laughs at him. Like,
I like there was a
Martin,
tweet
we'd
where,
like it if you were kinder about our movies.
There was a tweet where they said Martin's gonna wait 15 minutes and show up in shorts.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
Yeah, I love it.
That's hilarious.
So what were you saying, Steven? Sorry, Matt interrupted. I mean,
that's fine. No, there's a lot of thoughts on the
Steven doesn't talk enough, so it's fine.
Never. Thank you for calling that out. There's it exposed just how many people like don't listen to you. I don't mean that in like a like you've been saying for like what, over a year now, all the time you've been saying like, yep, they were going to do the black suit, but but he compromised and went with the blue suit instead because the guy with the baseball cap made him. But they shot it in such a way that they could turn it black. Like that has been out there for months and months and months and months and months. Not just like in your videos, but on Twitter, and I've said it, and like that's been out there. And then all of a sudden this comes out, and it's clearly photoshopped. And everybody's like, "No, there was an actual black suit." It's like that.
Well, I mean, hopefully, like maybe there was, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think, but there. Well, the thing of the matter is we saw the BTS, images, and they're not in the black
blue suit.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact of the matter is, it's like this is, and like I said at the beginning of the stream, I'm like, this shows how crafty Snyder is. It's like, okay, you guys are pushing back against this shit. Well, I'm going to do a certain little trick where if I could change your guys' minds, or 2 years later, I'm going to release my own cut. I can easily change it, and it's going to look almost flawless.
Yeah. Well, I think we were talking about this last time too.
Yeah.
This begs the question even more of, did he do that because he was hoping that, like, for the theatrical cut that he'd get it back, or was he doing that knowing, like, is that one of the, because there's so many things where it's like he knew what was going to happen, and he
it's all part of the plan.
I'll sit at Jones's Coffee every weekend and see if he shows up. Then I'll
or the other coffee place that he. I don't know.
There's two. Huh?
Yeah, there's two.
I'm just gonna be like, stalking them. I don't know, but like, but that's the main thing here. It's not, we don't have to fight about, is it Photoshop or not, or the color correction or not. We just gotta. The point is like,
it's gonna be black in the movie.
It's gonna be black.
Yeah, that's what matters.
In his cut, he's gonna put
in black.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I have Superman show up to that.
Oh, that's gonna be way better than any Thor immigrant song.
Exactly.
Oh,
by the way, I'm calling it. The next Wonder Woman trailer is gonna have Ride the Light. 1984.
I watched the footage
probably
with putting that opening riff.
You're probably right.
Yeah. It's gonna have it. It's gonna have it.
That'd be pretty sweet. Because actually, that album came out 1984. It's like, what the shit? So they better have that song in there. That'd be fun.
It's going to be their immigrant song. That's what everybody's going to remember the movie for.
And everybody's going to
be in the movie, yeah.
MCU. But no, when it comes to and it's funny too, because from what I gathered, I mean, when it comes to the black and silver suit and the resurrection of Superman, a lot of people aren't familiar with, of course, the source material. When he wears, that it's a solar suit to help bring in more of that, that radiation.
You heal him, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think at all it represents that. And when it comes to Snyder, you know how it is. He likes to peel the onion. It means something else. It's symbolic for something else, maybe. And
starting over, maybe.
Yeah, it's a resurrection, and it's like, what does the black and silver actually represent? We did see a black suit in Man of Steel in his dream sequence.
Right, that's true.
It could be a callback to that. I don't know. There's many things that we can do. Like I said, we could peel the onion and we could cry.
Well, one thing is for sure, it's not clear just how far everything was plotted out. We know that from J. Oliva that like the 5-part arc was established, like at the end of Man of Steel. So who knows what he had in mind when he shot that black suit scene. But from what we know about Snyder, there would have been some sort of a parallel or connection to the black suit scene woven into the fabric of anything in the future, I imagine.
Yeah.
I think someone pointed it out, or maybe it's something that, I don't know. I saw it somewhere, or maybe it came up magically in my head. I don't know. But the fact that all the behind-the-scenes footage, the BTS, as Dave likes to say, all cool like and everything, he's not wearing a cape. And it looks like it's even the final battle, or the final look at Darkseid and stuff. Batman's wearing his cape, but he's not. Something very easy to, the cape's not there. It's easier to color it in. Less to deal with. So that way, it's a capeless black suit like everybody wants. Because I know some people are bitching that the cape, the picture that he had a cape, and they're like, you can't have a cape.
Well, and it's a lot easier to, I imagine the CGI, or I imagine recoloring a red cape would be harder than recoloring a blue suit.
That could be part of it too.
Yeah. And so if you just leave, I know he likes the cape to be CGI typically. There are scenes where he has used the cape. It's like if there's not as much wind going on, he'll use like a legit cape. But there's scenes where like the wind is not necessarily blowing, or like you said, scenes where Batman is wearing his physical cape and Superman isn't. It seems like maybe that was intentional to make it easier to post convert.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I pointed that out too. I was like, why right there is Batman has the cape, but Superman doesn't? And so like, is it because he's closer? But you bring up a good point. Maybe it's a lot easier to make the cape.
The part where where they're looking up, and that's supposedly they're looking into the boom tube. Did he have his cape then? I forget.
No.
Nope.
That wasn't no cape. Okay.
Yeah.
But on Ben's costume, they have the cape on. But then, when it comes to the group shot, they don't have their capes. Obviously, you want them, to sway nicely into the wind or whatever for that group shot, which that's got to be interesting to see that group shot compared to I don't know.
I almost wonder when Jeff Johns on set, they're like, okay, we'll shoot like this way. And then when Jeff Johns leaves, it's all right, we'll shoot the actual scene. But he's not around. That's what they're telling him. Jeff's coming. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, back on.
Feel like shoot it.
The 5-hour assembly cut. I mean, they did something.
Oh my God. There's so much footage there. And that's why I even said at the beginning of this whole thing was like, everybody's like going 214. I can't wait for 214, 214 minutes. And I'm like, guys, if Zach gets his way, if Snyder gets his way, that thing's going to increase. I'm just saying, like, it's not going to be like, hey, just finish this. If he gets his way, there's going to be extra shit and that runtime is going to increase. Just saying.
Well, this is where we get to the whole like 40 million, which is no longer 40 million. It's, but
there you say that number.
But the thing that people who have been so resistant to that don't understand is that 40 million isn't it's not even a roadblock, but it's not a prison. Like if you are convincing Warner Brothers to spend 40 million or more, like Variety said, they're spending up to like $65 million on HBO Plus series. If you're going to be spending $40 to $65 million to finish this thing up, you might as well throw in some of that stuff from that original draft that they cut.
Exactly.
Right? What do you say? He said we shot a lot of it. Some of it we didn't shot. The really scary thing we didn't shoot. So
shoot the scary thing.
So now you're going back and let's say you decide, okay, let's release this, and we're going to throw. They say, oh, let's throw 40 million at it. Well, if you're going to be throwing that much at it anyway, don't release the version that's as different as possible from the theatrical version. Why would you spend more money to do a better version of the one that people already hate? Go ahead and go full balls to the wall. Like if you're going to do a Snyder cut, do a Snyder cut. Right. And if most of that already was shot, you can do some pickups, you can do some, whatever. And that's actually a place where if the movie's 100% done and fixed, you're getting a compromised version of the Snyder cut. So it's always what's so funny about people like freaking out over the 40 million stuff. It's like, no, like the fact that he needs to get funding for that much could actually be the thing that gets you guys a version of a movie that we thought was gone forever.
That makes me curious now to see that when he says Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah.
Can that be like repurposed to a new movie? Meaning it's going to be a new movie, not necessarily a director's cut. Like, you know what I mean? Like all the brand is changed, and
I mean,
it's going to be a new movie, not a cut of a old movie in which more different legalities are involved. And
apparently, like the missing objects that were like in his Vero post. It said TM, right? Or something like that. Like trademark.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, that's what I was told.
I haven't been
able to track down an official screenshot. There is no official trademark, so it was a joke, but that doesn't mean it's not true. Or that doesn't mean he's not like teasing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't understand the OBJ.
That's a bit of code that means that there is a symbol used there that your
phone or something can't see it.
Recognize, yeah.
Oh.
But apparently, like it could have meant for the trademark symbol, and it's like, okay, is that what it's going to be called? Yeah, we got a fifth party here. Hey, hey, there he is, Mr. Hardboiled.
Eric Blake.
Okay, I was going to say as an addendum to the
hey guys,
to the bit about them adding more in there. Is that he has been teasing things, the black suit being kind of on the line there, but the black suit, and there are other things also that he's been teasing that wouldn't have necessarily been in his theatrical cut had he stuck around until November 2017. Well, he says he planned on shooting that, so we don't know for sure if that would have shown in.
That would have been a pickup shot for the Harry Lennox part, at least.
Yeah, exactly. But no, there are I don't know. I can't specify all of it, but there are things that were cut before he left that he has been teasing, which means that when he talks about like the things that he's teasing, it suggests that he's going to go back and add things that that we wouldn't have got if he had never left the project, which I think opens up a lot of doors.
Like stuff that was the stuff that was too scary, like the parademon cocoons, for example.
Well, that was cut even before, like from the original script altogether. But there's stuff that was shot that was in like 214 that if he had never been fired or never quit or whatever exactly, anywhere between those lines had happened. If Zack Snyder's Justice League had been released in November 2017, it probably wouldn't have had Black Suit. It would have had a lot less dark side, if any at all. A lot of that type of stuff would have been missing.
3.5 hours. It wouldn't be 14 either. They would have
right. Down. Yeah. So it's just like what Mario Robles had said. There was version 1, Zach and Chris Terrio. Version 2, Zach, Chris Terrio, and Jeff Johns. Ugh. So the one we would have got was version 2.
Right,
which is the compromised version.
Well,
anyway.
Exactly. So it's always hard to like, what does the Snyder Cut mean?
What does the Snyder Cut mean?
But he's been teasing things that that I wouldn't consider to be part of the Snyder Cut as most people consider it, which means, like Dave said, we might be getting something longer than 214.
Oh, well, definitely. If he gets his way, we're gonna.
If he's willing to put his name on it, he's definitely. It's got to be 100%. He approves.
It's like right now, it's 3 hours and 34 minutes. Right now, that's what it is right now. But if he gets his way, if he gets his budget, he gets his crew, and he's able to like do the reshoots that he wants or add from that assembly cut that he mentioned on Twitter to Mr. Scott Mendelson, guess what? That thing's gonna increase. That's why I'm saying like don't dwell on that 214 number. If he gets what he wants, it's gonna increase. It's gonna increase.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Did I just blow your mind, Mr. Wanswin?
Well, yes.
Well,
I think I just got
yes.
Well, as long as Zach doesn't take away, as long as Zach doesn't take away from any of the current 214 for 214 cut, I can live with it. Because otherwise, I'm going to want every version in that case.
Wow.
Because I'll be honest, I like that shirt rip. And if that his preferred version doesn't have the shirt whip, well, I guess I want more than one version. Then I want it all.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing that you bring up here. It's like the shirt, the whole shirt rip. If he had this black and silver suit, but he's supposed to work back to getting the black and silver suit. What was the whole idea with the whole shirt rip?
Well, he was. We're not talking about getting rid of the shirt rip. We're just talking about when is the shirt rip gonna happen.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe Jail 3.
Yeah, exactly. So are we talking about a different movie?
I mean, ideally, yeah.
You could save that.
The shirt rip is his ending in 214. Like in his cut as it exists right now, it ends with the shirt rip.
Mm-hmm.
True. What were you gonna say, Eric?
I'm just curious. Although I feel like if I were Zach, I think it would behoove Zach and Warner Brothers to release the 214 cut as part of a way of building hype. Say, yes, I'm releasing this version, and this is a good version, but something better is coming along, and it's just part 1. So, like I said in the chat earlier, let's release Snyder Cut Blue and then create anticipation for Snyder Cut Black. Black and blue, as Lex would say.
Well, 214 is black.
I personally would love it. Is it? Okay.
Maybe he'll
release the director's cut. That's what he's saying.
Actually bring a shirt, say Martin Scorsese like what Matt has there. That'd be pretty awesome. Yeah, I mean,
that would be
when it comes.
Speaking of Scorsese, yeah, go sorry.
Scorsese's awesome.
Speaking of Scorsese, how awesome would it be? And this is just but it would be awesome if he did. If he were to look Iger straight in the eye and say, "Go get your effing shine box."
Well, if somebody records it and puts it online, that'd be pretty fucking sweet.
That'd be pretty cool.
It would.
I want to be in that room when Martin Scorsese talks to
Fly on the wall.
Bob Iger. He probably knows you show up as like, what the
Stop
What do you
saying
want?
that stuff about us.
Yeah.
We make a bunch of money. God. Like, yeah, and then he just does this little, you know. That was my terrible Martin Scorsese impression right there, guys.
I thought it was pretty dead on, man. Good job.
You like that? You like that, Matt?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was pretty good.
For backing that up. I should have just said more with it, but
I thought you were doing a deep fake for a second there.
I know. Yeah, yeah. It's not cinema. It's not cinema. Yeah. Anyways, I do it better, Quentin Tarantino. That's for sure. Imagine that.
But
Guy
if
did shit.
Please go ahead. Please do.
Right? Not right now.
But
I'm not
if,
drunk enough.
but in all distance, though. But
You
this
need to get
scenario,
better Wi-Fi, man.
Snyder Cut as is going to have things that.
Uh-huh.
Well, if
Your 3G is running out.
if there
bro.
is the scenario where Zach
Wait.
yeah,
Say it again.
What do you mean?
well, it's
Yeah,
it's
say
all
it
it
again
was
because you're cutting out.
for anyway.
Oh, now that it's more.
Okay.
Yeah, you're choppy as shit.
I'll come
Yeah,
back in.
tell someone to hang up the phone, man. The dial-up connection isn't working.
Yeah, it's pretty choppy. Okay. Okay. I don't know what he was saying.
Yeah, I couldn't understand a
I
single
think
word he was saying.
he was saying, I think he's worried about certain things that he likes being removed from it if he goes with the more scary idea, or the more like the shirt rip specifically he was talking about. Like if Zach goes with like the gets to go closer to his original version, that shirt rip might not happen until Justice League 2 or Justice League 3, presuming those also happen.
Yeah, but you already got the Justice League, so if you want to watch that.
Yeah.
We're here to get Zach's vision. Like, I'm here for Zach's vision.
Yeah, because
whatever that is.
now after seeing and after knowing that that's the suit, I mean, you almost think in retrospect, it's like, yeah, maybe that was just a compromise. Hey, we have to show that, you know.
Well, like they said, they're
Right.
accelerating the hope and optimism, right?
yeah.
And so if you're going to accelerate that, and they said that that quote came out as they were rewriting the script, right? So what better way to do that than to stick the shirt rip that was intended for Justice League 3 at the end of Justice League 1?
And it always seemed a little
Right.
weird to me. I mean, and I didn't want to point it out so I get it because what does Clark do? He does this in the middle of the crowd and then goes like this.
Yeah.
He takes his glasses off in the middle of the crowd and then walks down that alley. And I'm like, why would you take your glasses off that early? Like, wait till nobody's around.
Right. It's very Donner inspired.
There's no
Yeah.
fun to this anymore, man. Give him a
so-
chance. Jesus, he's just figuring this out.
Right.
It's all, oh, wait a minute.
He's been dead, dude. You gotta give him
Oh,
a break.
yeah. Yeah, but then you got to wonder, that's another thing I want to know about, in the Snyder Cut. How did they address Clark being dead? Obviously, because in BVS we see that he had a little clipping, a little obituary thing in the newspaper.
Maybe it doesn't matter because the world goes to shit. Because
Well, they
Darkseid
do. I
comes
don't know
out.
how I don't know how they do, but that was that original original ending.
It is, yeah. There's nothing like dicked around with that. I mean, that's what.
So that is the original ending for like JL3.
What?
Well, Zach said that he suggested that the black suit was going to stick around. I don't know. When he said it wasn't exactly clear, but what it looks like he was saying is that it would have been black suit for JL 1 and 2, and the end of 3 would have marked like the conclusion of his arc would have been becoming that colorful Superman suit again. Right. I think it's possible that was slightly misinterpreted. And I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does get the colorful suit back again at the end of 1, and then there's something else in 2 and 3. But it looks like he may have implied that 2 and 3 is black suit still.
Because someone brought up the nightmare scene
That's
is
exactly
blue suit.
Exactly. Yeah. Same.
So
Yeah.
it must have had that.
Yeah. Exactly. Which, if that was a dream, then that would make more sense because that's actually him seeing the future and he was having the colorful suit. So it makes sense for at the end of Justice League for him to have the red and blue suit again, because then that maintains continuity with Nightmare.
True.
Which actually, because the moment that he's supposed to turn is at the end of Justice League when Darkseid murders Lois.
Oh, yeah. Remember that, Matt and Chris, when we all heard that. Well, you were on live stream.
The audio played. No, we
Yeah.
should have saw that.
Oh man, crazy.
Yeah.
Wait. You're saying that Lois is supposed to die at the end of Justice League 1, or do you? Justice League 2?
I'm pretty sure that's where it was supposed to happen.
In 1?
The scene that he described, I don't know. It's we've tried to match it up, and the script is different enough that it's not just a clean single scene insert. But what he says when he describes the scene is that he says that it was see, I don't remember where it was now. The original Justice League 1 ending though had like a nightmare cliffhanger though. And so my imagination says that probably what happened is we see the murder and then we have a flash forward to the cliffhanger.
But she would have to be. But she's supposed to be pregnant. I mean, he just got back. I mean, he's not that quick, is he?
I mean,
Kryptonians, man. I don't know.
Like what happened in that cornfield that we didn't see? Man?
We're talking a whole nother script. So I don't know exactly. We're talking. We're not just talking the parts that were cut out of Justice League. We're talking about you put Justice League back together, and then that is like a Justice League version of the original script.
Yeah, you don't know where everything's at now anymore.
So these are unknowns we're talking about.
If his original script was going to end with Lois Lane dying, I could kind of see now why WB would balk a little bit at that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because remember,
for your first Justice League movie, you're gonna brutally murder.
Because Justice League 2 was never written, so why would he say that was removed if Justice League 2 was never written? So,
but at the same time,
that's an outline. That's a concept. That's an outline all the way up to 3. I mean, but you know some of the beats that are going to happen in those 2 movies, even though the scripts were never written.
Well, remember, there's also no Nightmare in Justice League 1, and the Nightmare that he described at SnyderCon was the one where Flash jumps back. And so either we see him being too soon or too late at that point in time. But regardless of what it is, that concept is going to be present. So I imagine we would have known that it happened in Justice League 1, even if we didn't exactly see it happen.
That's the crazy idea, the Lois dying or the time travel.
Eric disagrees with me on this, I know. But my thought is that Lois dying is the crazy idea.
Yeah, I personally think the crazy idea is more just the has to do with the parademon cocoons and so on, because Zach specifically said that was something that was changed because it was too dark and too scary.
Yeah.
So I think really like the scary controversy, like exactly. And as he said, it was changed before they shot it because of the because of the reception to BVS. So as far as Lois dying, we know from Zach himself that the 3 crosses was to foreshadow something happening in Justice League 2, and that was what led to people speculating that Bruce was going to die, and then Zach confirmed that it was going to be Final Crisis style. And of course, as we all know, that led to my making the deductions about Batman, about Bruce, interceding for Lois, and dying so that Lois and the baby might live, and then they named the baby's son Bruce. So putting all that together, I really feel that all of that is supposed to go down in Justice League 2, maybe Justice League 3 too. But I am sort of warming up to what been about there being a tease of Lois dying in the Snyder Cut, mainly because we know that scene of Bruce telling Diana about like I was sitting right here. Barry showed up out of nowhere screaming at me like a madman that Lois is the key. And Dinah says, well, she is the key, Bruce, to Superman. Every heart has one. And Bruce says, I think there's something more, something darker. I am warming up to the idea of right after that, we see a flash to the nightmare universe, but it's the beginning of it where you see Darkseid boom tubing and whacking Lois. So I am warming up to that, but I don't know.
Well, what he said was, I have the quote here. He said that they had it written and they were like, that's crazy. And we were so insecure at the time after Batman v Superman came out. They were like, I guess it is crazy. We're fucking nuts. There's going to be mass hysteria in the streets if we film this, apparently. And then somebody said, what kind of crazy? And he said, it's a long story. Suffice it to say, so look, the truth is the nightmare sequence, right, was always my idea. That all this would eventually be explained, of course. Is that a surprise? And that we'd end up at the distant future where Darkseid has taken over the Earth, or where Superman has come to be in the anti-life, and where now with this ragtag band, and there's a few members of the Justice League that have survived in the nightmare world, and they're fighting to try, and Batman's with Cyborg. He's broken half of Cyborg because there's only half of him. I love the way he talks. Because of whatever
jumping
happened.
Around, yeah.
His brain works faster than his mouth.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's very clear. He's trying to, so he jumps right in there and he says there's a crazy idea, and then he describes Lois's death. I'm sure the parademon stuff is part of that, but I don't think that the parademon's cocoons is like, that's too scary for people. There's going to be mass hysteria in the streets if we have parademon cocoons.
Graphic.
Mass hysteria in the streets.
Right.
Mass hysteria in the streets is Darkseid killing Lois.
Yeah. Well,
because
if an exec reads the script, they're not going to get scared about the cocoons, right? They'll be like, Lois dies? Right? In a script they're reading, right?
Well, the thing was, I think when I first heard that when we were there, I interpreted that means they had to take out some of the elements that led up to those scarier moments in Justice League 2 and 3. The elements that would have tied to that, and stuff like that. So they had to cut those out of Justice League, whatever set those moments up.
The nightmare.
Right. Well, that's why
those moments weren't going to happen now. So they had to take those elements out. That's how I interpreted it at the time.
Well, that's very possible, because remember, we're talking time travel here. So let's say at the end they go to a nightmare scene where Cyborg is in half and he's with Batman, and Bruce is like, go through that boom tube. Barry goes through the boom tube. He pops out. We're like, wait, this is the Batcave. This is BVS. Darkseid shows up, kills Lois. That's the end of the movie. See, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in BVS, but we find out about it, or not in Justice League, but we find out about it in Justice League because we see it in the past via the future.
That's rough.
See, and JL2, they try to stop that, but they
so then JL2 is they're going back through the timeline again, and then they're going to send them through the other one. Yeah.
God.
See, I thought Justice League 2 was going to open with that.
Well, it might because the actual moment hasn't arrived yet. We've only seen it via a portal in time.
Maybe season,
By the way, speaking of the whole, like Lois thing, see that is very interesting, and I will say, like, and Chris Wong brought this up in on his show that someone did this fan art of the whole crew, including General Swanwick, showing up at what is presumably Bruce's funeral, and Clark is carrying like little Bruce Kent.
Oh,
and
that one!
I got a kick out of that,
cool.
But Zach actually said in response to that, says this was pretty close to what he was
scary
planning.
Close. Yeah.
So
it's scary close.
Exclamation. Yeah.
So
that was JL3. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the comments, it says JL3. So.
Well, see, this also to me kind of leads up to the fact of what Dave was talking about earlier with the maybe getting something more, or I think Steven, whatever, one of you guys in the screen was talking about it.
Odds are it was me.
Getting something more out of the cut than just the 214, because there's 5 hours of assembly. Yeah. That's right there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
A 5 hour assembly cut, and we can actually get something closer to an actual.
Give a high five to Chris Wong.
You guys
love
contacted in
it.
cyberspace. That's
It's
awesome.
a form of document. All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But the thing was, even if we do get something more Snyder cutty, that really leads up to the fact that we need the other two movies. It needs to. It would have to happen. So,
Well, they're not going to give him money to do that unless the other two are happening. In my mind,
right? They have to, right?
Yeah,
they have to.
because
Or else it's the world's biggest blue ball
Yeah.
moment ever.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then we have to
exactly.
drive
'Cause
down there.
that brings up something. Yeah, because that brings up something I've been saying. Because like, if Zach is going to add in all these things that's set up for Justice League 2 and Justice League 3, like that is going to be so low of him to do that if he doesn't honestly believe that he's going to get the shot at doing Justice League 2 and Justice League 3. Because otherwise, you
Well,
might
I think
as
it's
well
even
release
more-
the version that's a clear-cut ending.
yeah, it's even more simple than that. It's not that it would be low.
Well, it's
to-
what he
to
shot
do
to
that.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but not at the point that the 214 was edited, Justice League 2 was already off the table at that point. So if we're going back to to a slightly earlier version that sets up
his original concept for Justice League 2.
exactly, or something closer to that. Maybe it'll be a blend, but it'll be closer to it'll be cutting out more John's stuff. Basically, is what
Right.
it'll be doing.
Yes.
Right.
And they're not going to do that. Like if they're just going to say it's one and done, they're just going to do what they have, and they're just going to work with that. But if they end up getting more funding for it, there's no way they're going to throw money at this and not then continue it, because that's just burning more money for no purpose.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying release both, because like release the version that will give it that will tie things up in a nice little bow, and also later on release the version that has set up for Justice League 2.
Well, there is no nice little bow version. It's just
that's
like,
what
is it a cliffhanger or is it a mild setup? But like, we're going to need both versions are going to have just both versions are going to have a dark side tease.
Yeah.
One version is going to have
Mhm.
some kind of a maybe Lois getting killed cliffhanger.
I could be wrong. If ever since the
just
first
really want that to
initial announcement and when they did the whole timeline, there was only JL1 Part 1 and Part 2, right? They've never
Yeah.
actually said
Ask-
it officially.
Ask Dave about that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You were the one that was talking about whether it was 2 or 3, or you know more about that.
I mean, apparently, from what I was told was like it kept on like going back and forth. Like, okay, we have so much material here. Like, should it be 2 parts? Should it be? Should we cram it all in 1 part? Should it be 3?
Oh, so they had this huge
Yeah.
script. It's not necessarily they made one novel.
Yeah, it was
it's like a huge and
Well, there was
larger
one
shop
script, but they weren't sure
Yeah.
as to whether
It
the
looked like
outline
where
should
the
be distributed across 3 or 2.
okay.
Momoa who said it. Like, oh, we
Yeah.
shot enough to make 2 movies and blah blah blah.
Ray Fisher said that.
Yes, he
Ray
did.
Fisher, Ray Fisher. Sorry, I thought it was Momoa. What
Would
is
we be looking at Kill Bill?
Because he says
Would we
everything.
be looking at
Yeah.
Kill Bill scenario about both?
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, there's so much material there. There's so much of a script there. There's so much story. It's like, what is it going to do? Go back? They kept on going against it. Wow, Steven, that's loud.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah,
Like-
geez. What the heck is going on?
Got fucking Tom Cruise from Cocktail.
I just do
Oh
it
my
later.
word!
I know. I'm sorry for you guys with earphones, man. I'm over here like, no,
jeez.
I'm good.
So it's the ASMR stream.
Oh.
Such a dick. I don't know.
All right. Well,
It's gonna be.
well, y'all
be
know me.
See what happens.
Well,
What do you?
No.
Yeah.
It's gonna
well,
be
y'all
interesting
know-
to see what happens
Yeah.
because I mean, look what happened today when he was, he met up with what's her name, Christina
Christina
Ren.
Ren.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stars and
And-
Sapphire.
Yeah.
It's like what now all of a sudden, and the fact that he had to post that picture and be like, "Hey, look who I'm having some coffee with."
Yeah.
It-
Like
it-
we don't recognize her.
Yeah.
It's like
So what do you think?
we're
So what do
starting
you
to meet
think?
up with some, we starting to meet up with some
Yeah.
actors and actresses and be like, hey, I mean, because apparently she was in Justice League. I don't know.
She did not shoot anything.
She didn't shoot anything. Okay.
No.
Correct.
Was she like Harry Lennox, where
So what-
he had intentionally come back to shoot, or is that?
Not that I am aware of. I just know that she didn't shoot any. Well, I will say she didn't shoot anything, and then yeah.
What are the odds? What are the odds that she's supposed to show up in? Yeah, what are the odds that she's that he was putting on the purple ring in Justice League 2 or what have you, and being Star Sapphire?
Huh.
Pretty good, I'd say.
Hmm.
It's Zack Snyder. I mean, we're teasing the Atom. We're showing Martian Manhunter transforming. He considered having Kilowog and Tomar reappear to Bruce in a post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Star Sapphire is going to put on the ring. Like
Yeah,
like we've already passed that.
But of
course,
There
like
is.
I bet Lar Fleas was in
there's
this.
so
Like,
much stuff.
Well, it's almost like he thinks
But
ahead.
you know,
Right.
Because, I mean, look. I mean, you don't cast Jeffrey Dean Morgan just to get shot in the beginning of your movie. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, hey,
Exactly.
you could actually play another Batman. You could be a Batman. I mean,
Right.
somebody who's like got a similar build as Ben Affleck, like a tall, big dude that could actually fit into a bat suit. That's why I'm like when they talk about Flashpoint and all this stuff, I'm like, yeah, I mean, you
exactly.
don't cast the guy unless you think that in a future movie he's going to don a certain cow.
have you guys
Yeah.
seen the new episode of The
I mean,
Mandalorian?
y'all know-
No, not yet.
Rick Famuyiwa directed it.
Oh,
Is it good?
It
Very
is
good. Really good.
The best episode of the show.
That's
so
what you
far.
actually gotta
Yeah.
Wow.
be blown away.
It is. I think
Wow.
it's the first thing he's done since
Empire?
Dope,
That's
right?
dope. Yeah.
Or maybe he's done other TV. I don't know, but I haven't seen anything from him since Dope. I'm pretty sure he hasn't done a feature film. But based on this episode, oh man, that Flash movie would have been dope, for lack of a better word.
Well, you know, we
man.
all know how I feel about. Well, you all know how I feel about what Justice League 3 was going to be. Like, my idea has always been that the Crisis Darkseid War storyline was going to be, was going to be wrapped up more or less in Justice League 2, and then Justice League 3 was going to be Flashpoint, and Zack was going to use that as his Days of Future Past to lead into whatever the heck Warner Brothers wanted the DCU to be from that point on.
Hey, and don't
Well,
lie.
Flash was officially titled Flashpoint when Famuyiwa was attached.
They had a
Yeah.
thing at San Diego
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had Jeffrey D. Morgan there. Everybody was there, and then I remember seeing all the memes afterwards with Jason Momoa. Like you get your pick between you get Gal Gadot and Amber Heard and shit like that, and they like showed him the big old smile and shit.
There's even some Easter eggs left in Aquaman in like the post-credit scene. I think that are like teasing
Oh, the
some-
Wonder Woman.
some Flashpoint related stuff. Yeah, like Themyscira and Amazonian or Themyscira and Atlantean relations or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe, but didn't Rick Famuyiwa, wasn't his script supposed to involve like investigating police corruption or something? It was going to be like a buddy film between with Barry and Victor. Or am I off base? Was that?
Well, there was rumors that Victor was going to be in it, but Victor's huge in Flashpoint. He's probably the closest.
Yeah,
thing
he's a
to
big part. Yeah.
outside of Flash, he's probably the closest thing to a secondary character. He's bigger than Flashpoint Batman is in Flashpoint.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Whoa! I just thought about the notion of Ray Fisher as Flashpoint Cyborg. Flashpoint Cyborg is jacked. That would have been insane
Yeah.
if they would.
It'd be huge.
No, so many Flashpoint designs I want to see now.
No, it wasn't.
Until it wasn't.
yeah.
Although I don't think it was
I
going to be
just
pure Flashpoint, but still.
Well, of course not. There's going to
Yeah,
be. They can't do the
'cause,
actual story. They can never do. I mean, like Batman versus Superman wasn't like purely Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
Although I had one of our writers at the time write a piece called "Flashpoint is the best," or is a great way to do a Flash origin story. Because it's got all the people are like, oh, you can't do that until like way later on. It's like, no. Flashpoint has every single element of
You
the
know what?
origin.
It's funny because I even like I think me and you were even talking about it. Stephen was like, I was kind of against it, but you actually convinced me. It's like, yeah, it does have all the origin that you need for.
Like literally, you have to tell his origin in a flashback in order to tell Flashpoint is literally in the script or in the comic.
Well, that's the thing. What's the thing to have? You also have to have, first Barry learn exactly who really killed his mother, because like he has to first he has to solve that mystery about what really happened to his mom, and then we can do
Well,
a
that's part of the
flashpoint.
story.
I would be,
Mhm.
yeah,
That is part of
yeah,
Flashpoint.
but that would be like,
Mhm.
but that would take like more than 2 movies, I would think, in order for that to be done any justice. Like to do the first movie be
No
him
pun
solving the
intended.
mystery, and then the second movie be Flashpoint.
I don't think so. I mean, you could figure out who killed his mother in like a montage, or just have he knows that it was
montage.
Or I just thought of BVS beginning, and it's just like, and it's just,
yeah. Well, look at how or he
Release.
or he finds out that it was because the whole point is that like
Don't
the
change time.
process of the Flashpoint story could be how he finds out who killed her, right? He goes back in time maybe to find out who kills her, and that's how he changes it. Like there's all sorts of tweaks you could do to the story, but the whole point is it revolves around his mother's death. And
Right.
so you're almost doing too much work if you do an origin movie first before Flashpoint, because you're going to go back and retrace all those steps anyway, unless you want to do like a Back to the Future 1 and 2 kind of like, hey, we're back on the same set again.
But again, that would almost be necessary because part of the appeal of Flashpoint is now you're like exploring this new timeline, and the more time you spend focusing on Barry solving the mystery of who killed his mother, the less time you have to explore this Flashpoint universe.
Maybe, I don't know. I like Flashpoint.
So
yeah, I love Flashpoint. I just wouldn't do it as the first Flash movie. I would do it as at the earliest. I would make it the second one.
I mean, have you watched Jay Oliva's Flash? And that is Jay Oliva, right? The director of Flashpoint animated.
you did the
Yeah.
You don't need to
That's
know anything
awesome.
about Flash, and you can go out and watch that blind, and you learn
Yeah.
everything you need to know about him. I mean, there is no lead up to it. Like,
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
solo animated Flash.
Right.
It is essentially
Yeah,
an
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. As long as you
Yeah.
take out him solving the mystery, so as far as we're concerned, he just stops the murder, and we don't need to know how, because we don't need to know who really killed him.
No, I
Well,
think
like I said,
the point is
stopping
that
murder is the process of him stopping. So so the movie is he's trying to solve it and he can't, and that's what causes him to go back to the scene, and that's what causes Flashpoint to happen.
Right.
He goes too
Right.
far. Instead of just going out to find out who it was, he goes back and stops it.
Right. And I like the Jay Oliva one because it's basically just the idea that he has to sacrifice his mother, in order to get back on the same timeline. Like that, it's like the butterfly effect, or what, it just, that's the point of it. Without
honestly, honestly,
think about the weight.
honestly, I would do. Yeah, honestly, I would do Flashpoint as a miniseries on HBO Max. That's how I would do it. That way, you can do everything justice.
I would do everything as a maxi series on HBO Plus.
I mean,
The whole thing.
Yeah,
HBO Plus, dude, Disney and
HBO Max.
the Snyderverse.
just make everything a fucking series. man.
HBO Zax.
No, I mean, I've always wanted
The
a Game of
Snyderverse.
Thrones level like DC show. Like, go do it. Gotham is, you got all the different cities, the different factions, the different heroes, and they're functioning independently in a story that culminates in a massive battle. Like, these are all sorts of stuff you can do.
Oh, man, I think that's man. I mean, when you watch what they did with Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and everything like that, I mean, obviously, they had something there. And anytime that I was watching Daredevil, I'm like, God, they could really just do a Batman series like this. They could do anything like this and just kind of just take their time, spread it out. And what better person to do that than Zack fucking Snyder, who makes really long fucking movies?
Exactly.
I just
The
find it
longer
funny
the
that
better. I don't
people
want to
are bitching
compress
about
everything.
Disney Plus and about how they're putting all those Marvel movies on there now, or they're doing those shows that have to tie into the movies and stuff like that. But like DC fans here are like just dying for content, and we're just like, yeah, make a Green Lantern series, put the Snyderverse an episodic series, whatever you gotta do, just put it all on HBO Max because we just want to see the shit. Finally, see the Flashpoint.
Yeah,
Exactly. And then
I'm personally cool with the MCU doing it. If the MCU wants to do it, let them. I'm cool with that.
yeah, but would you be cool with like say that Snyder got his way but we got that almost 5 hour assembly cut of Justice League that could possibly be 2 movies. Would you want it to be divided up into like a little mini series in and of itself?
Darn right, I would.
Okay, good. You guys?
I could get the 3 VHS.
You keep mentioning that like it's actually happening.
I'm just saying, like, what if
Yeah.
what if he wanted to do something like that? What if Snyder wanted to do that? I think we'd all be okay with that, right? That's why I said
like what Steven says, if JL1, say that's JL season 1, it ends with that whole Lois thing. That's a great cliffhanger to the next season.
Well, especially
there's
because
got cliffhangers in there.
the more I describe it as cliffhanger too, because imagine you're watching it and you just know that like Flash, you don't know what's on the other side of this door, and you just know that like Flash is going to go back and you know he's going to stop whatever happened that caused the nightmare, right? Mm-hmm. And he goes back and he's too late, and it's
or too
dark.
soon.
Well, we already saw the too soon. The too soon.
Okay,
the too soon is months before, right? Yeah. That's in BBS. Mm-hmm. The too late is like too late. So it's either after it happens, or it's like right as it's happening. And so that's a perfect cliffhanger there, because you're building to this moment. You're like, aha, they're gonna win, and he goes back and it's like, oh no, they're not. There's Darkseid, and Lois is Omega Beam,
and he has to find out exactly how to do it right, so that Batman can sacrifice himself.
I know. I wonder how that was going to play out. I wonder how was Batman going to sacrifice himself? Jesus Christ! And were they going to have that moment where Superman is literally carrying his dead body? Probably they had to.
Yeah,
if Snyder is gonna ape a shot from the comics,
yeah. That's an iconic shot.
Well,
yeah. And I mean, I
feel
you may recall. Sorry for Cavill, because Ben Affleck's a big motherfucker.
The way that shot happens in Christ is so weird.
It's just bones.
Christ, this guy is huge. Jeez. Because I mean,
you may remember. Sorry. Well, y'all may remember, like when I made that post that Zach applauded, where I laid out my theory about Baby Bruce Kent. I mentioned the famous sequence of Bruce and Darkseid gunning each other down, like in Final Crisis, which leads to Superman carrying Bruce's body. So, of course, what leads to that? Bruce has the Ion bullet, which is the only thing that can kill a new god. But how does he know to do that? Because Darkseid already whacked Orion. So is that going to was supposed to introduce Orion in Justice League 2?
Countdown to Final Crisis. TV series on HBO Max.
Oh boy!
Yeah, all of it.
Who's going to cast to play Orion?
Do it.
Anybody could do it.
Do it. Better than CW, please.
Yeah, well, I mean,
CW is awesome, man.
I mean, I haven't even watched Crisis on Earth, but I've seen all the clips and I've seen people bitch about it. It's like I don't even need to watch it. And I mean, it is CW. I mean, could you imagine though something on HBO Max that was orchestrated by Zack Snyder? If only they would give him that time, that moment, that all of that, it would be something special.
They want to do it. That's my thing. Is like him and Affleck are such wild cards with this. Would they really want a major studio gig like this again, or are they just content with Netflix and just staying away from that control that is the studios and stuff? That's always been in the back of my head with Affleck and him. That they're just at this point they're just like screw you guys. This isn't worth it anymore.
Well, I think Affleck more than Snyder for sure.
I agree, except for a couple things. HBO Max wants content bad, and they would love to have guys like Affleck and Snyder on there. And so not just for Justice League, but if as part of his deal, Affleck could get a handful of his personal projects greenlit for HBO Max, and then Snyder, I bet he's going to get his Fountainhead scripts approved. He's got a Fountainhead. He's got a Fountainhead series he wants to make.
Series.
WB owns the rights to Fountainhead. He can't make it on Netflix.
Right, it does. That's right.
So, are they going to want to be locked into a contract with Netflix, with HBO Max? Well, if Snyder can make Fountainhead after the Snyder Cut, and if Affleck can make, I don't know, maybe he's going to convince them to buy his McDonald's movie, or maybe he's got something else with Damon that he wants to do.
McDonald's movie? Is that what you said?
Yeah, he's making that McDonald's Monopoly movie.
Oh, really? I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, there's a New Yorker. I think it's a New Yorker article about it. It's awesome. It's some cop that gamed the McDonald's Monopoly.
With the Monopoly game. Yeah. You're right. I did hear about that.
Yeah, and Affleck and Damon are I think Affleck's directing and Damon is starring, but now Disney owns it. But it doesn't seem like a great Disney thing. So like, it'd be awesome if like WB acquired the rights and they did it for HBO Max.
I mean,
Fucking
I would almost feel like as a way of guaranteeing that things are going to run smoothly, like Ben Affleck's got to insist on producer credit for this Snyderverse stuff on HBO Max.
Well, he's already got producer
executive credit.
Yeah.
Executive producer credit.
So yeah.
But I mean actual producer as opposed to just executive producer. That has like actual power in this case, because you know who does have a producer credit deal with HBO? Amy Adams. So just imagine her and Ben Affleck being producers for the Snyderverse.
Yeah.
How would you know that? Like, who knows that?
Well, because she's got what, the Sharp Objects.
He knows everything about Amy.
Yeah, because of Sharp Objects. Yes, because of Sharp Objects. Yeah, ever since Sharp Objects, she signed a producer deal with HBO. So basically, they give her first look. Apparently,
that's awesome.
You got to realize, Matt, this guy is obsessed with Amy Adams.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that, I guess.
His Twitter feed, he is.
That's for nothing.
He is, number one Amy.
He admits it. He knows. He backs it up. Right? I don't know. Be interesting. As he sips his apple juice. I don't know. Like
ginger ale.
Ginger ale.
Sorry. Actually, one thing. What are you guys' opinion?
Yeah, because
and this is going back to the Black Suit Superman.
All right.
What is your guys' opinion on why he sent that out at that hour? Like, was he just drunk, or it was?
Maybe could have.
Did it get a call? I was like, what? In your opinion,
are you alluding to the fact that maybe it was hey, what's going on there, Cavill and Garcia, that group?
Oh, I didn't even think of that. No.
Okay,
but is it?
I don't know. Steven, what do you think?
Someone suggested. Yeah, sorry.
I mean, I have tinfoil on this. That's all I've got.
We all got the tinfoil.
I mean, I'll tell you my tinfoil, but
I got glass bottle on that. I say that's what it is.
I put this on my head.
My tinfoil is that Henry has a little bit different vision for Superman and like what he wants of Superman. And his vision is Danny's vision, and they keep on sort of teasing like what they want, and there's like Witcher coverage going on, and so he'll say like, oh, I still want to be Superman or whatever, and that gets headlines or whatever. And so what Zach is doing is just notice there's always drops around the same time. Yeah. Zach drops something, Warner Brothers drops something, Warner Brothers drops something, Zach drops something. And it's, I don't know, it's pretty easy to form a conspiracy that they're like dick measuring, for lack of a better word, right? And so Henry is like, I want to do Man of Tomorrow, and Twitter's like, oh, Man of Tomorrow, and then Zach is like, yeah, but what about fucking Black Suit?
Wait, why not both? Honestly, why not both? Because I am not opposed to the notion, like putting on my own tinfoil hat, that, I mean, someone brought up that it could just as easily be that Zach and Henry are.
No.
And that he's basically.
Just says no.
Henry could have posted the Black Suit picture.
I don't think they're talking. They're not.
Yeah. The thing is, though, is that the Black Suit, though, does lock Cavill into wearing it. Like, that doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
He can't jump from the end of Man of Steel. He can't do that now. You know, he
like
can't
I said, I think there's some back and forth flexing going on over where they are best suited to use Cavill, and they're saying like, look at all. Chris just. Watch his pupils get bigger. Like. Whoa. His webcam zooms into his iris and goes,
tell me more.
Tell me more. Yeah. Keep going. Let him talk.
I mean, it is. That's what it seems like. It seems like, you know, who's got the bigger gun here?
Who's
Anytime,
got the true $5 footlong? You know.
yeah,
Yeah, let's see Subway do a
Subway.
yeah.
a Man of Tomorrow sandwich.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's
The
I
ham
rest my
of
case.
steel. The ham of steel sandwich, man. It's there.
Hey, there you go. There you go. I like that.
Hammer steel too.
But again, I'm a
Steel.
again. If you were to ask me like what I would prefer at the moment right now, I would prefer a scenario where you get both. I mean, why
Well,
not?
you're gonna get there with
Again, why not?
He could have the Captain Marvel shitty thing where she just changes the color on her wristband.
Oh God.
Oh my god!
Oh,
I forgot that movie came
I
out.
don't-
No, okay.
But like honestly, if I were to do it, if I were to do this whole thing, like I would have, he would have the black suit for the entire movie, except at the very end, he does the shirt rip and it's the blue and red.
Well, so
I mean,
Zach
nothing-
said
I
that
would-
he was going to have two. He was Justice League 2 and 3, and he was going to lead to that eventually. So let's clarify
But
what
he
you're
also-
saying here. You're saying you want to accelerate the hope and change a little bit.
How dare you?
Blasphemy.
Sorry.
All right, just to clarify, Stephen, like someone, just to clarify, Stephen, Zach also said when someone brought up the blue suit thing, he did say, "Hey, you know, the movie's pretty effing long." So he is pretty whether or not there is going to be any blue suit in the Snyder Cut.
Yeah,
he was
well,
pretty
I
clear
think
that all
the
of it's going to be black suit. I
Yeah,
think,
he said
right?
even the final
Yeah.
battle is going to be black suit.
yeah, well, the question
Yeah.
is whether or not,
Yeah,
like
but
after
he
the
didn't say
final
what
battle,
happened.
is
Oh.
the shirt
After
is the shirt rip in it at all? If it is it a blue
Yeah.
suit or I don't think they would do a shirt whip with a black suit, although that would be kind of fucking awesome.
Maybe
Metal. It'd be so metal.
Yeah.
maybe Lois Nixon and Newton.
People would be so mad if he aped the Reeves or the Reeve shirt rip and it was a black suit under that.
It ends with like Megadeth.
But again, I
It
just find it
ends
weird.
with the John Williams Superman theme, but on like
Metal.
No.
a
But again, I just find it so weird that in response to one of the questions about whether or not he planned on having the blue suit anywhere in the Snyder Cut, his response was, "Well, the movie's so effing long."
No, the
So-
person asked him,
No,
the person
that
said,
those are
how
wrong
many
answers.
bangers do you have to,
Yeah.
how many times can you show these bangers? Or it's obviously not American, whatever the hell it was, bangers or some
But
shit.
they were like, "How many more
How many
bombs are
have-
you gonna drop?" And he goes, "Well, the movie's almost 4 fucking hours
That's
long."
true.
So
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
was. And he's going to show Green Lantern next, probably.
Right.
A Green Lantern or something with Green
right.
Lantern.
Yeah, someone on
Something.
Twitter made a mistake that his answer was for a different question, but that was for the bangers one.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
Jeez.
there's this
Yeah.
place called Bangers and Lace down the street from Amanda's
Fuck.
house when she
I
before
thought
we married.
I was the only one with brothels. Shit.
And they had these chorizo crusted deviled eggs. It was like the greatest
At a
thing ever.
brothel?
Chorizo?
No, it was a bar. It was a bar called
That's
Bangers
you.
and Lace.
What?
Dude, no, they
You-
had some great chicken wings at the Wild Horse down here.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm in Nevada, so it's legal. But,
Okay.
but they got great chicken wings.
So you
It's
visit,
bar food. Well,
you got to get that protein in you before you, you know.
yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to the
What
blue
were we talking
suit, when it comes to the blue suit, I mean, it's up in the air. It's up in the air. I mean, to me, it sounds like he wanted to wait for the blue suit, and it's from his comments. He's saying like, "Hey, you see my cut. You see Zack Snyder's Justice League. You're gonna see black suit all the way, black and silver suit all the way."
But I'll say this: I would be 100% on board with that, no question, no holds barred, if we had stuck to the schedule that was originally planned, where we would have gotten Justice League 2 already this year. In that case, and that means like that would have freed up Henry Cavill to have his Man of Steel 2 right about now. But as it is right now, with all these delays, thanks to Ball Cap and Whedon, I'm just thinking that look,
We should
I
accelerate the
think
hope and
Henry's
change
waited long enough.
into the Snyder Cut.
Shut up,
No.
shut up.
I think I get what you're saying.
I want it all.
No, because there's no way
want it all.
There's no way that there could have been a Man of Steel 2, like, you know, with that Superman that Cavill wants or like certain people want. If they're still like dealing with this story, it would have had to be after the whole Justice League story. Like,
exactly. And I personally want. I would have much preferred. Again, I'm sure we all would have preferred if we'd finished it up before by now. All right, what are you saying, Chris?
Tinfoil. So the CW, they're going to do that Superman series with, and they have a baby. They have a kid together.
yeah.
What if Man of Steel 2 can still happen, and they introduce, they already have, it's years in the future, they have a kid named Bruce, but they don't even allude to why this kid name's Bruce. And that's Man of Steel 2. And then as we're watching it unfold on HBO Max, they don't even mention anything. It's just that his son's name's Bruce. And we finally find that out through HBO Max as we're watching Zack Snyder's first. So it's already the blue suit. It's already past the events of that.
It's 10 years down the line from any events.
Something, it's just in Metropolis. They can do whatever. I don't know what.
See,
any story.
This nightmare talk really has me wondering about continuity, though, because that is a good point. That if Justice League ends in the black suit, then that would mean that, like, unless, I don't know, they've got to do some explaining to figure out why the nightmare suit is red and blue instead of black.
That's the key.
God,
I mean, that's another reason that supports the notion of the shirt revealing the blue and red suit. Just saying.
Right, exactly. Well, that's part of why I was always assuming that also. I was assuming black suit, and then he chooses blue suit at the end. Yeah, I don't know.
You have to find that.
The other question too is like that scene where he's in the Kryptonian ship and he sees the suits and he walks past the black and silver suit. Like, was that suit originally the blue suit and he walked past that one and then looked at the black and silver suit? I mean, Mike,
someone did an edit.
Well, someone posted on Vero and asked him, and you never know about these because people don't ask questions very clearly, and then he answers them briefly, and it's always not pretty vague also. But somebody said, did that deleted scene continue to him then turning back to the black and white suit again? And he said that's what happened.
Okay.
Yeah. But he hasn't seen the deleted scene. And so he doesn't know exactly what they're talking about. He can just assume that it's whatever his edit was. So who knows? What I'm curious about now, though, is that knowing kind of how the black suit stuff went down in the comics and knowing Zach, if we went with the OG script, does he come back, get the black suit, get some Kryptonian big-ass machine guns, and then we've got Justice League 2 with dual-wielding machine gun black suit Superman until he realizes.
Well, that'll be kick ass, I'll tell you that.
Holy cow.
Oh, by the way,
people love that.
Speaking of that.
People don't like Batman with guns? Get ready for dual-wielding machine gun black suit Superman, motherfucker.
Oh, by the way, speaking of that, speaking of which, everybody was asking, like, before I came on tonight, like, people were asking, well, why doesn't Zach have, why didn't Henry have the cape on in in all the behind the scenes shots? Well, look at the comics. In that, when he's wearing the black suit doesn't have a cape.
Yeah.
Look at the comics. Yeah. The black suit doesn't have a cape.
That's true.
True, but I think he was supposed to have a cape. I think they just wanted to make it more dramatic.
You think they were going to put a cape on the black
cape?
Suit?
Huh?
You think they were going to put a cape on the black suit? You think he did that?
Yes, 100%.
You think or you know?
I know.
Okay, thank you.
I mean,
I'm going to say you think.
No, I know.
Okay, what about a mullet? God damn it! I want to know about the mullet.
No, yeah. What's up with you?
Yeah, with a mullet.
Yeah, I want the mullet.
Dude, okay, so I'm a huge wrestling fan, and 90s comics are the ones I grew up on. Like, mullets are the king, son.
Yeah.
But true.
The whole mullet thing, that's part of the iconic look of him post-resurrection.
If he's going to have black suit for 2 movies, that implies that, like, he's not, like, embracing his brighter side. until the end of like Justice League
So
3,
he's
right?
gonna grow an evil beard.
Yeah, exactly. So he's going to get a beard. And he's going to grow his hair out over the course of 2 movies.
What if he was, man? Dang, I didn't even think about that.
Except he doesn't.
Wow.
Dude,
But he doesn't have a beard
Actually-
in the comics. He has the mullet.
You want the public to demand a Snyder Cut trilogy completion? Let them know that Henry Cavill with long hair and a beard and a black suit was going to be Justice League 2 and 3, and they will
Man,
be out in the streets demanding.
Release the mullet.
out on the streets with a dance.
So don't use the word mullet just yet. Just tell them long hair and a beard.
Long hair beard.
No, you gotta use mullet.
No, it's a bait and switch.
Got
They
his
can't-
mullet.
It's
They
switch.
can't know it's a mullet. They can just know it was long hair.
Oh, he's gonna pull a Toby.
Gotta
And
be a mullet, guys.
The ball Toby.
he's gonna fucking be like this and shit out in the streets.
I don't know why, but I picture like a shitty
Anyway.
wig one like Joe Dirt. I don't know why.
Nah,
I don't think so.
That's very.
I'm Joe Dirt.
But in all seriousness, Chris, I like
Could
your
you imagine
idea. I'm
blowing
really
slow
digging your
motion?
idea of
Oh, I would love that.
yeah,
Get a
Nick
slow
Gruber.
Snyder with slow motion.
yeah.
Oh man, 160 frames per second mullet.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
But all seriousness, I really dig the idea of that Chris brought up of a Man of Steel 2 being set several years ahead of the otherwise established continuity, because I really like that, especially if they're going to do what Henry Cavill wants and base it off of For Tomorrow, because For Tomorrow, like, if you've ever read it, like, I highly recommend everyone in the chat, like, who hasn't read it, treat yourself and read this thing. This is a darn good storyline. But it really is the kind of storyline that, if it's set kind of in the near future, because otherwise, where would Clark get the tech?
Somebody said he has to have a Patrick Swayze mullet. Ah, we're talking about Point Break.
Oh, wow.
I love that.
Dude.
That
Now
was,
we're talking.
whoa. It's all feathered up.
You know what? Hey, Catherine. Hey, have Man of Steel 2. I don't know.
That'd be interesting. But
So-
Catherine Bigelow.
yeah,
I have one question for the group. Just curious on something because I was talking to someone about this today.
okay.
Do you think, not saying that it will happen, but just your opinion if it could happen, or do you think it should happen anyway? Do you think the Snyder Cut should be released, whatever fashion it will be, before Army of the Dead, or should it wait until after Army of the Dead?
Oh shit.
Oh,
saying should or
boy. Should or hoped. No.
Well, hope is, we all know, hope would be
yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, or right now. You know, maybe he drops it right now. It's about that time for him.
Well, I think
With
the best
two
the
studios.
best possible time for it to release is going to be on HBO launch or HBO Max launch, which is before Army of the Dead. So that's
Right.
that's optimal
Mhm.
for me. That's the most useful place for it to fit
Mm-hmm.
as the flagship.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I mean,
Because there was a thing where I was talking to someone where it was
although
like,
if I may,
because the way critics sometimes react to Snyder's movies, could Army of the Dead come out? You know, he goes through the rhythm and flow that is a divisive movie or something to that effect with critics and stuff like that. Could that bring, you know, some things down? Could that wave people away from the Snyder Cut in any way after that?
yeah.
Could, you know, is it right now? Is it because he hasn't had a movie in a while, or a movie release like this, and the hype built around it and everything? Does it need to come out before Army of the Dead? That's kind of what the conversation was.
I feel like streaming, it kind of just takes away the whole critics thing. Like, if that, you know what I mean? Like, it just comes out. There's
Yeah.
no,
Well, I can already see.
there's
Just
no, yeah.
go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, I get that because either way, it's Zack Snyder, and people just gotta, want to beef with that guy. They always have negative thoughts on that. But I think with the streaming, just like Martin Scorsese and all those, even David Ayer's Bright, that was killed, and the critics killed it, but it's still had a record number of viewers. People just launched it. People just watched it. And I think at that point, maybe possibly they don't care what the critics have to say. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Well, I could already see a headline of like, "Oh, Army of the Dead proves that we should never see the Snyder Cut." Snyder doesn't know what he's doing. I could just see that headline already rolling out and everything, and also
Either
real quick,
or.
Index Bravo. He keeps saying hi to Steven.
Right.
So hello. Hello.
Yeah.
so,
I mean,
so that was just
on
something
the
that was a
other hand-
discussion that I was having
Yeah.
today with somebody.
But like on the
I mean,
other
either
hand,
or
if
that would
Army of
happen.
the Dead, yeah. But like on the other hand, if Army of the Dead does really well, that would be great publicity for the Snyder Cut to come.
Well, both can happen. Snyder Cut does good, Army does good, or vice versa. But one's on HBO Max and the other one's on Netflix. So I don't know if that.
So I'm
Yeah.
over here just like, which one would be better? Would it be better for after or before?
I think Army of the Dead's best chances was when the Snyder Cut, when critics thought it was going to be their way of saying, oh, look, he's better off without DC.
Wow.
But now that people have come around on the Snyder, like the fact that people have actually turned a corner on the Snyder Cut and think it's going to, like you look at people talking now and they're like, they believe that, like a lot of people that previously said it doesn't exist now believe not only it exists, but that this whole thing is an elaborate WB marketing scheme. Like that is a real thing that like people who used to be naysayers are saying. And so I think what they would have said before is if it was like people still said it doesn't exist, it's still this kind of simmering topic, they would have said Army of the Dead is great. It proves that Zack Snyder is better suited for non IP properties.
Yeah.
And he's best off doing independent stuff on niche platforms for streaming audiences,
Mhm.
and use that as a like almost gaslighting. Like this is so good, it proves that he should never touch any property again. Whereas like now, so many people are considering it a foregone conclusion that I don't think that's an option anymore. And actually, I think that the kind of more heavy metal approach of the Snyder Cut compared to like Justice League is going to be something where like if that comes out in May with HBO Max, people are going to be like, damn, what is this zombie movie going to be?
True.
That's true.
I mean, release the Snyder Cut. It's mainstream now. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Everybody knows about it. People know about it. I mean, you got
Subway knows about it.
Subway's tweeting about it all the time. How many times do they use the hashtag a day? It's like insane.
Oh my god! Yeah, they are marketing. It's like
how many followers do they have? Like 3 million or something like that.
Yeah, like
3 point something. Yeah, I forget. I don't know.
3.4 or something.
Dude, I don't know why it's so funny to me, but for some reason, the Schlotzskys and the McAllister Deli, or I think it was McAllister Deli, both followed us.
Yeah.
I was like,
oh,
okay.
I got followed by one of them too, I think.
Oh man.
I was like, I don't know what you're expecting to get out of this, but
Are they offering you free subs yet, Matt?
no, not yet. Wait, I'm waiting.
Do you
We don't have either one of those. All we have is Subway. So
yeah, no, I was like, do you have those delis over there? Probably
No.
not. That's a back east thing, right? I'm pretty sure.
There are I mean, Florida
You're
has
back,
Moe's,
Eric.
so there's that.
Yeah,
Florida has Moe's.
What state do you live in, Eric? You're in you're East
Florida.
Coast. Okay, yeah.
Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Florida has Moe's and has got Moe's, and of course it's got Subway, but yeah.
Yeah, Subway. There's Subway everywhere. You don't even know. Like in my where I live right now, there's like 6 Subways within a mile of each other. It's crazy.
Wow.
one's on fire.
There's one at the mall. There's one up the street. There's one across the freeway. The next block. There's another one right there. I mean, they're fucking everywhere. It's crazy how many Subways there are. I think they outnumber fucking Starbucks at this point. Almost.
Yeah.
I almost think so. They're everywhere.
But I will say they haven't followed me yet, but I did send out a tweet recently about my usual Subway sub, like what I always get when I go to Subway, and Subway replied to me and said, "You have heroic tastes, Eric."
Look at that.
So
Awesome.
I was like, "Wow." Exactly what I thought.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if they were to do like a Snyder cut sandwich, what would it be? I mean, I saw somebody be like, "Oh, they should do a Snyder cut sandwich that costs $2.14." I'm like, no.
Just a slice of ham.
$7. He said
$2 before.
Like big and not anything. It's got to be.
It's a snacker.
Yeah. Something you pop in your mouth.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Snyder snacker.
Yeah. Someone said $7. $7 because unite the 7. It should be $7 because unite the 7.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
$7 production.
But I mean, what would it
Great.
what meats and what sauces, whatever they'd have to like create a Snyder cut sauce or something like that or something. I don't know.
Someone said black
Someone
bread.
brought up this great idea.
Someone said
brought
what?
up a great idea.
Black bread.
Someone brought up this great idea: a different sub for each member of the league, like a Superman sub, a Batman sub, a Wonder Woman sub, and so on. Like a tuna fish sub for Aquaman.
Okay, good. I didn't say Wonder Woman. Yeah.
Sorry. Don't worry, Dave. I appreciate it.
Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. That was the alcohol right there. He's about to leave right now. He's like, God damn it.
I mean, it could be just a roast beef, you know.
Fuck.
We've gone off the.
Oh my word.
Oh man. Anyways,
some of us have been single for far too long.
Right. No, but I mean to do. Sorry, Steve. I'm just like.
Is that jab?
Woo. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know about having
Must
like.
have been me further.
Yeah.
Cheers,
Jesus, man. Oh, I'm sorry. Anybody out there? Well, actually, I'm not sorry. It was funny. But,
Hashtag sorry.
Own that.
No. I meant this guy. Yeah. I meant this guy. No, I mean, I like that idea, but I mean, they would have to have like an actual just Snyder cut. I don't know if they would actually have different ones.
No, I mean they're not going to do it anyway. They're not going to do an actual sandwich unless it's a and like an actual
marketing. Yeah.
No, Jose, this guy Jose, Black Forest ham for cycle.
What? Black Forest ham?
Oh my god!
What the?
Oh my word!
It's not politically
Black
correct.
Forest.
I love it. Oh man! Black Forest.
Pumpernickel bread too. All right, it. Put up pumpernickel bread.
This just got demonetized.
Oh my god!
Terrible.
It's hilarious.
Oh, they're enjoy while it lasts.
Oh, man, I think that's a good way to end this, guys.
Yeah.
It's a perfect way to end this.
Absolutely.
Yes. Guys, thank you for adding to that. All canceled now, and I love it. But cheers. Thanks, guys, for coming on. We almost went for 2 hours. Cheers for everybody that listened and donated and everything like that. Appreciate it. All right, guys.
Oh,
We'll talk to you later.
have a great weekend.
Yep, that too.
Night.